Hey, everybody, this is Helena Hart. Welcome to my Master Your Magnetism podcast, where I help you create the life and relationship you've always wanted. I'm actually streaming this episode live on YouTube today. So if you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or anywhere else, and you'd like to see a video of this episode, that'll be the first link in the description or episode details. And hello to everyone joining me live. Sorry, it's a little bright in here. We just moved into a new house and we don't have window treatments yet. So I know the sun is pouring in and it's really intense and a little harsh, but I haven't done a live stream in a few weeks. It's been over a week since I've even posted a new video. So I definitely wanted to come on and connect with everyone today. I'm going to be talking about 7 things a man will say when he's using you, when he has no intention of really committing to a real relationship with you, but he likes all the benefits he's getting from being around you. And that doesn't necessarily mean sex. It could, of course, if you're sleeping with him. I think classically, when you think of a man using a woman, it's for some kind of physical intimacy, but it could just be spending time together, passing time with you. He could really enjoy your company. But like I mentioned, just because he likes that companionship or being around your feminine energy or something like that doesn't mean that things are moving any closer towards that committed relationship you want. And I do want to mention that women can say these things too. Of course, this isn't about gender. Men and women both say these things all the time. But since obviously my podcast audience and my audience here on YouTube is mostly women, I'm going to be talking about this from the woman's point of view today. So hi to everyone joining me live. Let me know if you have any questions and I'll get to those at the end. Also, make sure to stay to the end of this video because I'm also going to be sharing 3 things you need to do if you're in a situation where you're with a man like this who's saying some of these things. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started. The first thing a man will say when he's using you is, I still have feelings for my ex or another person, and I'm trying to figure things out with them. And by the way, I got most of these from the comment sections of some of my videos. I can't tell you how many women I hear from who are in this situation with a man where he's trying to figure things out with another woman. And I always say, if another woman is in the picture, it's just, that would just never feel good to me. I would never in a million years tolerate something like that. But I know it can be easy when you have strong feelings for a man to start rationalizing it and think that this connection is just so amazing that maybe it's just causing him to question things with his ex, when really in situations like that, a man is often just using the woman for an ego boost, or maybe his ex is seeing other people, so he wants to do that too. And things are often more serious with this other woman in the picture than a guy lets on, because he doesn't want to cut off the benefits he's getting from you. So let me know what you guys think about that. I see already this is resonating with some people in the chat. And let me know if you have any personal experiences with this. So again, that's the first one. If a man is saying that he still has feelings for his ex, he's not over his last relationship, and rather than taking the time to heal from that before jumping into something new, he gets involved with you because he likes the benefits that he's getting. And again, it doesn't have to mean anything physical. It could just be the ego boost or the companionship or something like that. So that's number 1. Number 2 is, I'm not ready for a relationship right now. I hear from so many women who are, involved with men who say things like this. Now, this one doesn't necessarily mean that he's using you. He could just be honest with you. This could be him just being really upfront and straightforward, which is a great thing. And I do think that it's our responsibility to, decide whether or not we're going to accept something like this, what we're going to allow into our life. So he could just be being honest, but if he knows that you want more and he's just letting you come around and give to him and sleep with him, and really deep down he knows that you would commit to him in a heartbeat if he was ready, to me that just doesn't sit right with me. If the situation was reversed and I were single and maybe I had a guy friend who has expressed that he was really interested, and I knew that I just didn't feel that way about him, but I let him come around and take me out to dinner and buy me things and do things for me, I would feel like I was using him. That just wouldn't feel right to me. So a lot of these guys are happy to take whatever you have to offer, right? They're happy to just take what you have to give them, but that doesn't mean that you're moving any closer towards that committed relationship. So I know the tendency to just want to show this guy every single thing you have to offer, hoping that he'll somehow change his mind. But in my opinion, if a guy says he's not ready for a relationship, it's important to believe him and don't like hope to get upgraded to girlfriend or wife if you hang around as a friend and just show him how amazing you are. It really doesn't happen like that. I really found when the right man or when a man finds a woman he's truly feeling it for, he becomes ready pretty quickly. I'd be curious to hear if anyone has experience with that. I hear from a lot of women who say that they were hanging around a guy for years and then he met another woman and, married her 6 months later or a year later, something like that. So just be careful with that one. When a guy says he's not ready for a relationship, it's important to believe him. Number 3 is I'm not into labels, or let's just go with the flow, or I'm not into the, relationship title or the boyfriend girlfriend thing. And again, this doesn't necessarily mean he's using you. This one is something I hear a lot. This one kind of makes me laugh every time I hear it for some reason. I don't know why, but if a guy says something like, let's just go with the flow. I'm not into like that relationship title. And you've been dating him for a while. It's a clue that he wants the benefits of being with you without having to be obligated to you in any way. He doesn't want any strings attached. He doesn't want to fully commit to a relationship, but he wants all of those benefits. So of course, if you've just been dating a guy for a couple weeks, you probably wouldn't want to just jump into a relationship. It takes time to get to know someone and see how things unfold. But if you've been dating a guy for months and months and months, and again, he knows that you would commit to him today if he were ready, and he's just saying, I'm not into labels. Someone says labels ruin things in quotes in the chat. Absolutely. So again, if he knows that you want more and he's saying some of these things, it's because he wants as much as he can get from you without the strings attached, without being obligated to you in any way. He still wants the ability to go out and be with other women if he wants and not have to like be so attached to you or have any kind of strings attached. So that's the third one. Let's just go with the flow, or I'm not into labels. Number 4 is if a man flat out tells you that we're just friends or that we're not in a relationship. And this one sounds obvious, but you wouldn't believe how many women I hear from who say things like, we've been together for 5 months. He says we're just friends, but he loves me, or something like that. I hear about all kinds of things in the comment sections of some of my videos here on YouTube. So if a guy is flat out telling you this isn't a relationship, similar to number 2, it's important to believe him and keep moving forward with your life. Of course, he's going to take everything you're offering him. And like, I can't tell you how many guys I've heard in my life say, hey, I told her we're just friends. I told her this isn't a relationship, but she's continuing to come around and try to like change his mind or prove herself to him. And there's just no way on earth that feels good to her. And it also just flat out doesn't work. So number 5 is anything that sounds like, I'm not sure what I want, or I don't know if I can give you what you want, or I'm trying to figure things out. Has anyone ever heard that from a man? I know I certainly have. And the truth is that men know what they want pretty quickly. If he's the right man for you, he's going to know that he's interested in pursuing you for something serious pretty much right off the bat. So he might just like the benefits that he's getting from you without having to fully commit. So again, these guys want to take as much as they can get without giving anything, like by giving as little as possible, if that makes sense. So if a guy says, I'm just trying to figure it out, I'm confused right now, I'm going through a lot, I need to take some time to figure things out. He doesn't want to commit to being with you, and he doesn't want to commit to not being with you. He's kind of like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. If I were to hear something from a man like that and I were single, I would move on. The right man knows what he wants. Men know what they want pretty quickly. It doesn't take a man years and years and years or even several months to figure out whether or not he's interested in something serious with you. And like I mentioned, when the right woman for him comes along, or someone who just really triggers those feelings in him, he would likely commit to her pretty quickly. So that's important. Anytime a guy says anything that indicates that he's confused or he doesn't know what he wants, I would say that's a red flag. Number 6 is an interesting one, and that is if a guy says, I don't care if you date other people. Has anyone heard that from a man before? Let me know in the chat. I've been getting comments like this in the comment sections of some of my videos where a guy just doesn't care if she dates other people. And to me, that's a sign that he is definitely doing the same thing. Now, again, of course, if you just met a guy, let's say you met online, it's sort of assumed that you're talking to other people, getting to know other people. But if you've been dating a guy for several months and he doesn't care if you're dating other people, something's a little off there. I believe that the right guy is not going to want to jeopardize his opportunity to be with you. He's going to want you all to himself. So if he doesn't care whether or not you date other people, to me, it's just something's a little off there. He's just not relationship material, or he's certainly wanting to keep his options open and maybe not wanting to feel bad about that. So definitely let me know what you think. Yes, Brianna says a man who really wants you doesn't want you dating other men. I totally agree. And that brings me to number 7. And that is anything that sounds like, I'm just so busy right now. This isn't a good time for me to get into something serious. Anything that sounds like an excuse when the conversation comes up about things going deeper. Or a guy might just say that himself, like he's planting the seed to, manage down your expectations. You don't expect too much from him. So anything that's like, work's really crazy right now, this just isn't a good time for me to date. But again, he's happy to take what you have to offer. He's happy to spend time with you, hook up with you, anything, even take you out. Because just because a man isn't ready for a relationship, or just because he doesn't see that with you, doesn't mean that he doesn't crave the company of a woman. So again, using you doesn't mean just sleeping with you. It definitely could if that's what's happening. But a lot of times it means just having someone around, having a woman around to cuddle with or talk to, or just, have that companionship. So those are the 7. If anyone wants a recap, I can do that at the end. And I'm going to share the 3 things now that you should do if you're finding yourself in a situation like this with a man who you feel might be using you. And I do want to mention it's important to use your intuition too. Just because the man says one of these things doesn't necessarily mean he's using you, but it's a pretty good clue that he's not that interested in pursuing you for something serious right now. So the first thing you want to do is look for integrity rather than getting caught up in the emotional connection you have with him. I've never talked about this before, but it's really important. I know I talk a lot about the importance of an emotional connection and creating an emotional connection, right? And of course, that's very important. But what I've really found is that it's people, when they feel that strong attraction or connection with someone, they tend to disregard these other red flags. So you want to look for integrity. So what does that look like? That looks like a man who's reliable and dependable, and he follows through on what he says he's going to do. You can really count on him. He doesn't have a bunch of exes hanging around him that he's friends with, but they're all kind of still in love with him. He doesn't have a bunch of women hanging around that would date him in a heartbeat if he were to give them a chance, right? He has integrity. He is somebody who you could see being in a long-term relationship with, not because of how you feel for him, but because how he treats you and how he feels about you, and how he's a really good person and a gentleman, and he treats people with respect. I just think that's so important. So look for integrity or signs of integrity rather than getting wrapped up in the emotional connection too soon and then making excuses for him or rationalizing some of this behavior. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one because I haven't talked too much about that before. So let me know in the comment section or in the live chat. Number 2 is you want to keep in mind that what's truly for you will bring you clarity, not confusion. If you're in a situation where a guy is saying one or more of these things, you're likely feeling confused. I hear from so many women who just say, I'm so confused. I just don't know. It's so confusing, all these mixed signals. And with the right person, you're not going to feel confused. He's going to make his intentions known with his words and his actions. More importantly, he'll make it clear with his actions that he's serious about you and ready to move things forward. So if you're feeling confused, that's always a red flag. Of course, you can ask for clarity. You can always say, hey, I've been feeling a little bit confused lately. Is there something I should know? Or it would feel good to know whether or not we're on the same page before moving forward. All of those things are great. And his response to that is going to give you a lot of information about what he's up for and how he feels about you and what his intentions are. You want to really listen to those responses. So totally fine to ask for clarity. You can do that one time and get a lot of information. But in general, if you're feeling confused, in my opinion, that's a red flag. What does everyone here think? Let me know in the comments. And number 3 is something I've said before, and that is you want to put your desire for a great relationship with a man who's really interested and treats you well ahead or above your desire to just be with this one guy right now who's sending mixed signals or doesn't know what he wants. So basically, that comes down to being willing to walk away. If a guy isn't ready for a relationship, if he just sees you as a friend, if he has other women in the picture, you're willing to walk away because your desire for a relationship that's mutual and feels peaceful and just feels good to the both of you is sort of ahead on your priority list. You're not just throwing that out the window and going after this one guy because you have strong chemistry or attraction with him, or you're focusing so much on the emotional connection without looking for some of these things and looking for signs of integrity and character as it relates to you. So that's what I have today. Again, I can recap this. If anyone wants to recap, let me know in the chat. I'd love to get to some of these questions. So I'm just going to go ahead and scroll up. We have a lot of people listening live today. So hello, so good to see everybody here. Let's see. Kaylin says, yes, husband did that. He went out and cheated, but not with an ex. Yeah, it doesn't have to be, I still have feelings for an ex. It could be, I'm still trying to figure things out with another person, maybe someone he hasn't been in a relationship with. So that first one is really important. I say if there's other women in the picture and you've been dating a guy for months, to me, that's a red flag. I would never in a million years be in a situation like that. So Blair says, when you ask him to make things official and he says, I'll think about it. Yeah, that's a good one. That reminds me, if you guys have any other ones, please let me know in the comment section. I got these from you. So I got them from other comments I've seen that I just keep seeing over and over and over. Rebecca says, he says she's just a work partner. Yeah, again, use your intuition here. He might consider you as a rebound relationship, Cynthia says. I completely agree. She says, I agree. I made that mistake when I was younger. Yeah, we've all been there. I have certainly heard most, if not all of these things from men, just back when I was single. And so it's important to catch that right away. Brianna says, oh, yes, I see that with friends all the time. Can't just let a man drag you along. Absolutely. So Terry says, you can tell what a man wants from you. He will show you in the long run. Most important, watch what he says or did to his ex. That's what he will do back to you. Yeah, it's interesting. The signs are usually there right at the beginning. The red flags are usually there, but we miss them because we get wrapped up in that emotional connection or that chemistry or attraction. Usually women in this situation aren't attracted to that many guys. Then one man comes along, they finally have these strong feelings for him. They see those feelings as kind of rare or special. And so they just throw their logic or intuition out the window and they start rationalizing and basically tolerating things that they would never tolerate with another guy. Here's a question from May. Hi, Helena. As a trans woman who's now discovering her femininity and growing into being myself, your videos are so helpful. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. You know what? I actually hear that all the time. So thank you so much for sharing. I love it. Jasmine says, what if you're abstinent until marriage? Me and this guy have a connection, but he wants to be friends. Does he want to be in a relationship with you or not? To me, that sounds like number 4. He flat out says he just wants to be friends. Yeah, you might have a connection with him. You might feel more deeply with this guy, for anyone listening, than any other guy you've ever felt before. But if he's not telling you and showing you with his actions that he wants to pursue you for something like a serious relationship or marriage, then he doesn't even qualify, in my opinion. All of these are red flags for sure, Cynthia says. Actions speak louder than words. Absolutely. Oh, we just got a bunch more questions. Let's see. What if you asked for defining the relationship? He asked for space. I became anxious and got worried. It was too much stress. Continued to text out of anxiety, and not having him run away just made things worse. And now he says he needs more space. But we were just in the talking phase. I worked on my attachment style and now super secure. Yeah, if you're just in the talking phase, maybe that was a little too early for him. If he's asking for space though, let's say you continue talking to him, you lean back, he comes back around, you continue talking, and this conversation comes up again, and he does something like number 7, he makes excuses, he says it's not a good time. I would listen to that and believe him. Typically, if a guy's right for you, when you bring up something about the relationship, he's going to want to talk about it and he's going to jump on that and see that as an opportunity. So he's not going to ask for space or something like that. But if you were just in the talking phase and you think that scared him away, just see what happens from here on out. Oh, she says, he won't respond to my calls or texts. What should I do? There's really nothing you can do. If he's not responding to you, I would keep moving forward with your life personally. I mean, what are you going to do? Just wait around and keep pushing your energy out towards him and hope he responds? That just can't possibly feel good to you. If it were me, I would just keep moving forward. Maybe he'll come back around once he feels that pressure valve getting released. Maybe he won't. If I were to guess right now, I would say this isn't the right man for you. Renee says, we need help with stages of dating, how to stay confident. I freak out one day of communication without one day of communication and sabotage it. Yeah, I have a lot of actually videos on my channel about staying confident, how to deal with relationship anxiety. If you just search for Helena Hart anxiety or even Helena Hart anxious attachment style, you'll see some videos that should be really helpful, some really powerful exercises, because a lot of times it's not about him. It's about healing some of these things. So the right guy just shows up and you recognize it and you don't push him away when he does show up. So let's see. I have time for a couple more questions. Kate says, my guy is lovely, perfect. We've had the best time for the last 2 months. He's separated, not divorced, since 7 months ago. Told me he doesn't want a relationship, and I get it, but it's real. I don't think I saw anything else written from you, but I can just go off of this. Yeah, if a guy's separated, not divorced, I would always be careful with that. A lot of women get attached to men like this, and they think that once he gets divorced, they're just going to be in this full-on relationship, but then all of a sudden he wants freedom. He's like single for the first time in a long time, and he has to go do his thing. So I would certainly not put all your eggs in this basket. It's only been 2 months. And again, he told you he doesn't want a relationship. Number 2, right? So you want to believe him and just keep dating other men. I don't even know if I would continue staying in contact with someone if you want a relationship with him and he is telling you flat out that he doesn't want that. So Nicole asks, what about I'm scared to get hurt again? Yeah, that's something I hear a lot from women. These guys say that too. I'm scared to get hurt again. So I would believe him. If he tells you he's too scared to get into something serious, don't try to change his mind. At least I wouldn't, right? Jan says he can't have a relationship because of his loyalty to his deceased wife, but he loves me. Yeah, a lot of guys say, I love you, but we're just friends. I love you, but I can't have a relationship because of this reason. I love you, but I'm so busy right now, right? So believe the worst of the 2 things he's saying, or, don't get caught up in his words, watch his actions. But if he's flat out saying he can't have a relationship, you want to listen to those words too. So, oh my goodness, he asked me to buy him a pair of Air Jordans until he gets paid. Yeah, I should have added that. If a guy asks for money, especially early up front or anything like that, he's just using you. I would move on. So let's see. Jasmine says, so glad I joined this live. Very helpful for me to move on. Absolutely. Yes, I totally agree. This is great. Okay, I have just a few more minutes. When he and his child's mother is not good in terms, guess then the time for me, other time he doesn't even answer my calls. I didn't quite get what you were saying there, but if he doesn't answer your calls, he doesn't answer your calls, I would move on. Something about that doesn't feel right. So Terry says, we do contact. He's told me many times we're just friends and we work together. He does want me to stay the night and we don't have sex because he says I get too attached. Yeah, again, so you're not having sex. He's not using you for sex, but if you're cuddling with him, if you're spending the night with him, you are running the risk of getting attached here, especially as the woman, that oxytocin kicks in, whether you sleep with him or not, right? Often. So again, in quotes, he said, we are just friends. You want to believe that. That's number 4. I'm so glad I included that one because I hear it all the time. Neptune Fairy says, I met a man who says he's looking for marriage as well. He invited me to his house to cook for me. Does this mean he's trying to sleep with me? Yeah, if you don't know this man, I wouldn't go to his house. I would say it would feel great to spend some time with you. It would feel great to get to know you. And I'd feel more comfortable meeting in a public place. So for everybody, don't go to a guy's house if you don't know him or if it's like one of the first few dates. So how do you know when a man wants you? Oh, I love that question, Helen. Thank you for asking. Yeah, when he wants you, I would say his energy is coming towards you consistently. He doesn't drop off. He's not hot and cold. He makes you feel good. You feel great when you're with him. And when you're not with him, you don't feel anxious. You don't feel confused about where you stand with him. He just makes it clear. It's the most obvious thing in the world when a man wants you. Does everyone agree here? It's super obvious, and you're just not going to be confused. So he shows you with his actions that he's serious about you. If you go on a date, he wants to plan the next date right then on that date you're on, or within the next day or two. He'll be in touch with you. He'll keep things moving forward at a consistent, steady pace. He won't drop off or risk losing you by saying anything that I'm talking about here. So, oh, you're so welcome, everyone. I love you so much. I'm so glad that I came on. I just had about 30 minutes for a live stream. So let's see. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy I did this. Thank you guys so much. Again, sorry for the bright light. I'm going to figure out a way so I could start doing these more regularly. I always love connecting with everyone. And you can get my free report and audio training on my website, helenahartcoaching.com. That's the first link in the description of this video or podcast episode. And well, if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, that'll be the second link. The first link will be the link to this video if you want to watch a video of this episode. What else can I say here? I think I have some more things for everyone. You can follow me on Instagram now, Helena Hart Coaching. I'm back on Instagram after a long time of not being on there. There's still a lot of fake accounts using my name and photos to basically scam people out of money. So make sure you're following this one right here. If you're watching on YouTube, that's on the screen, Helena Hart Coaching. If you want to type it in, that's Instagram.com/Helena Hart Coaching. That's the last link in the description of this episode. Make sure you're following my podcast, Master Your Magnetism. That's where I'm spending most of my time these days. I go live over there every other Tuesday at 6:00 p.m. Eastern time. And I believe that's all I have for everyone. Make sure to grab my free gift. That'll get you on my newsletter too, and I can update you when I'm doing more live streams. I know I just do them kind of irregularly now. I also have my self-love bracelets. I'm wearing one right now, and candles. I don't have a candle with me. I'm still unpacking from the move, but I have a link in the description if you want to go check that out and see photos, and you'll also get a self-love or healing course from me. It's a 4-part video series on how to heal some of these deeper parts of yourself so you can finally experience that love that you've always wanted. So the link to get the bracelets and candles and that video series, it's just a little bundle that we put together for you, is in the description as well. So just click the title of this video. If you're watching on YouTube, it'll open up the description and everything will be in there for you. Let me just check in with the comments again. And let's see, you are so welcome. May says, I'm actually a lesbian. I don't date men. I watch your channel to learn how to help my female friends with their boyfriends and get closer to them. Love it. Awesome. And last one, Fortune says, I'm a new subscriber. I enjoy your content so much. Very down to earth, no frills, just real talk and knowledge. Thank you. You're welcome. Yes, I love connecting with everyone here. It's 1,000,000 degrees up here with the sun. I'm like sweating, my hair sticking to me, but I'm so glad I came to do this today because I love connecting with everyone. I will hopefully see you soon. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you next time.